y'all enjoyed that music? That was authentic Guatemalan music made with the marimbas, which is the official instrument of Guatemala. Well, this speech I'm covering my trip to Guatemala. The topic is a destination that I have been or would like to go in my life. So I figured might as well cover one I've already been to. It was a great story. So first off, let's learn a little bit about Guatemala as a country. They're classified as a third world country. And in fact, many Guatemalans are known for immigrating to Mexico for a better economic opportunity. If that gives you an idea, as Mexico is more of a second world country. And they gained their independence from Spain in 1821, and they've kind of struggled for stability ever since then. And their square footage, or their landmass, I guess, is 108,989 square kilometers. Pretty small, and there's a moderate tropical climate. And they're actually more known to having a wet and a dry season. There's not really temperature seasons as you see here in the States. In fact, whenever we went to Guatemala, it was the wet season during the summertime, and the climate or the temperature stays pretty much the same, but it just rains more often. And in fact, I saw a status update today from the missionaries that we were with, saying that it was 75 degrees even now in December in Guatemala. So it's a pretty steady atmosphere. And it's mostly mountainous terrain with narrow coastal plains. We definitely saw a lot of mountains where we were. Later you'll see on a map where exactly we were in Guatemala. Guatemala as a people, as a population, there's about 14.3 million in the area of Guatemala, and that was taken in 2013. And almost half of this population is under 19 years of age, which is quite incredible, but a lot of that is due, one, to a low life expectancy. People just don't live as long in that nation. And also, there's a very young, I guess, marriage age there. The average married person there is 20 years of age. And so you have people having babies younger, and so just generally you have the young raising the young, and just a general younger population. And they're the most populous country in Central America. And to give you an idea of what that means, the population in the U.S. is 313.9 million, over a 9.827 million square kilometer area. So that's roughly 32 people per square kilometer. And if Guatemala had the same population density as America, there'd only be 3.5 million people living there, as opposed to the 14.3. So it's quite packed there. And we were in Villanueva, Guatemala, and we stayed at the New Life International Orphanage. And on a map, you can see the capital, Guatemala City, is right down there south of Guatemala. And we were east of that. It's not on this map, but it's probably just a little bit right there. It makes a little triangle with Antigua. And you can see there's some orphans that we spent a lot of time with when we were there. And there's a school that was stationed in the very middle of the orphanage. And that's me. We spend most of our days working on the orphanage and working on the new boys' dormitory that was about to be constructed. And then in the night times and in the evenings, we spend most of our times with the kids there and just playing with them. And a lot of our time was spent playing soccer. As you can imagine, as a lot of Latin countries, that's a huge part of the culture there. Here's a picture of the Guatemalan team playing against the U.S. team. That's Landon Donovan right there. And this is a shot of what we saw from the highway whenever we first arrived into Guatemala. And it was quite a culture shock because coming from quite an affluent country as America and seeing these are shanty towns right here that are on the side of the highway in this mountainous terrain. The buildings were constructed of plywood, cardboard, tin sheets. It was just a huge culture shock to see what we consider needs here, air conditioning, closet space, internet, and seeing these people here that even food, shelter, and clothing is in question. And so that's something that I definitely learned while I was there. And we didn't have much time to recreate due to our busy schedule, but one thing that we did get to do one afternoon was go to the market in Antigua. And looking back at the map, that was just it was about a 30-mile drive, I think, from where we were staying. But there at this market, there's just tons and tons of booths of merchandise, mostly homemade things. You can see there's some bags and purses and stuff like that where people could barter and trade for goods. And it was very exciting to see what Guatemala was like outside of the walls of the orphanage. And upon some more research, I discovered this lake, Titlan, and it literally means at the water, lake at the water. And it's known as one of the most beautiful lakes in the world, and I really wish that we had a chance to visit there. But it's also one of the world's most ancient lakes, and it was formed from an enormous caldera, which basically, in a volcanoous area, there's a land sinkage, and basically water filled up with that sinkage. And that formed 84,000 years ago. And it's surrounded by 3 other volcanoes, Volcano Atlan, San Pedro, and Tomilan. I'm sorry, the Spanish names. And it became a national park in 1955, and it's since been a huge tourist attraction. And so, in conclusion, it was just an amazing experience, my first time out of the country, and I just loved being immersed in just a different culture that was a mere 4 hours away by plane. Oh, and let's go back to the bibliography there. Most of these the images came from Google, and my own pictures from Facebook, and also from the CIA website and other government websites. Thank you very much. Woohoo!
That's right under 7 minutes.
I feel so influenced.
It really is